how much do I get personally, organization?
Yeah, Prof. Yes. Currently, you have we should have IP focal persons at all the research institutions, and they will be the eyes and ears of the IP central IP office. Now, the IP focal persons certainly are heads of divisions, etc. So we will not be doing the day-to-day activity of IP, and they will need to have some support staff. So you might have to look within the institutions, those who looking at the potential that they have can do that job. So they then will be liaising as part of their activity, as part of their activities, will be liaising with the various researchers. So earlier on, I did indicate that we need to produce guidelines, etc. So the first point of call is, if you're starting a research work, first thing is to have some, apart from going through your journal articles, one thing is to have a patent search done for you. And then that back and forth with a researcher, you could put out a proper proposal, and then the next steps will go on. So the work will be done at the institutes, and it means that we need to have a strong team there, and they are the ones that would be carrying out the IP awareness, etc., in the institution. The researchers will concentrate on the work that they need to do. So there has to be some kind of mindset, and this is what Prof did indicate, that yes, we need to do capacity building, but it gets to a point where it will be much more specialized. But for general capacity building, for persons to know what IP rights are, what they need to do, that will be done generally. Now, for the particular group that is really have specific activities to carry out, then they will be given further training so that they will be able to do the work that they need to do. So essentially, this is the broad framework that we have, and then we'll work the details. Because when we come to the specialized training, it will differ from institution to institution. So for example, if you're taking an institution that is dealing with plant breeding, they will focus more on the plant variety side, as against, certainly they might have some technologies and that we can look at patents. But we have general training for everyone. So that's yes.
Plant breeding. I'm at PGRI, and I brought up some idea of plant breeding, which brings, if patented, maybe brings about $1 million to CSIR. And I've been supported by the Director General and the CSIR and everybody to be able to do this. Personally, what percentage, let me just be very blunt, of this $1 million come to me? Thank you.
I've not looked at although we've worked on this policy for some time, but within it, there's a sharing formula that shows where it goes to the percentage, etc., etc. So sharing formula is within there. So that is it.
But the way, let me say that the distribution is there, which was done by your team themselves. And it is very generous to the extent that the inventor, the researcher will be entitled, even after leaving this organization, if there is still revenue streaming in, then that percentage which the inventor, the researcher, was supposed to get will still be there. He will still be getting, he or she will still be getting it. So it is very well articulated in the policy also. Yeah.
Any other question or contribution? Okay, so I'll call on Professor Paul Bosu to give the closing remarks.
Thank you, Benedicta. You will notice that on the program it says that I have to give a presentation, but I'm not giving a presentation. Thankfully, I didn't even prepare a PowerPoint presentation because I didn't want to pretend to know and understand these IP issues when the experts are here. And so I comfortably yield to everything that they have said. I'll just make a few remarks, and Benedicta has asked me to then wrap up. So I have taken notice, and I'm speaking on behalf of management and all of us, of all the insights you have given us from Uncle Sam talking about the strategy that we need to put in place, the very important point about the statement that IP thrives on documentation. It's very, very well taken. It's a full-time activity, so we've taken very good note of that. And the fact that we need to develop career lines for staff and build a system. It's something that we really, and everything, we are definitely going to collect the slides. And of course, we are not going to let you off the hook. I mean, this is the beginning. So you can't bring us to this stage, and Loretta is there. You can't bring us to this stage and leave us hanging. Now we have to cling to you so that we can develop very well. And Prof. Ogada, I share with you that your story about spending, was it 3 years to develop the benefit sharing mechanism and not sharing anything. I tell you, you are not alone. You know, here in Ghana, in CSIR, we have a commercialization policy of a sort that has very elaborate sharing mechanism. Sometimes, maybe a few institutes, every now and then, they share something or pretend to share something according to the mechanism. But we all have to. I think that we'll continue to learn, monitor our system, build it, you know, and use an adaptive approach as we go on. And we'll continue to rely on you. But we will forge ahead, especially when it comes to sustaining this policy and making it work. You know, sometimes when you speak with some people, they tend to create an impression that an IP system or a patent, registering a patent, is a panacea to all your funding problems and all that. I realize that it's not necessarily like that. And I think you've made those points that it may not solve all your financial problems, but it can lift you, it can give you recognition, can do other things for you that indirectly would bring benefit. So we take that and we'll keep that in our hearts, and we'll forge ahead. So on that note, if the facilitator would permit me, okay, on that note, I hand over to the facilitator.
Okay. I think we done for this session. The final item would have been a closing prayer, but I want to believe that we can't do 2 closing prayers in a day. So at this juncture, I would like to thank everyone for coming back after lunch. I could see a lot of people dozing, and it tells me that people had a very good lunch. So, yes, so at this point, I think I would like to thank everybody for coming back after lunch, and wish you well. Thank you very much for coming. Please, can all the focal persons stay behind? We want to take a group photograph. persons. As they get out, they'll give it. It's the same. It's the same thing. Focal persons. Rita, say. Yeah. So as they get out. Thank you, thank you. Focal persons, 13 of us, right? So Prince, you do the photograph. Oh, it will be two. Yeah, that's true. In front and then. Okay. Are we ready? Okay, then we have to fill this. Please, can we get somebody?
If you have left it blank, then me, I will sit on it too.
Yeah, Tutu. Smile, please. The very first IP committee of CSIR. We've come a long way.